Have you ever found yourself stuck in that endless loop of thoughts, where it feels like your mind never shuts off? Not even for a second? It's like no matter how hard you try, you can't stop thinking about what went wrong, what could go right, or what's yet to come. And all that leads to more anxiety, more overthinking. But here's the truth no one tells you. The problem isn't the thinking itself, it's how you handle it. Overthinking is stopping you from living in the present. And worse, it's pulling you away from your purpose. But there's a different way to approach this. And no, it doesn't involve silencing your mind or pretending everything is under control. The secret lies in turning excessive thinking into clarity. Want to know how? In this video, you'll discover simple and practical techniques that can completely change the way you deal with your mind. Overthinking is like a relentless machine that never shuts off. Sometimes you find yourself repeating the same idea over and over again, unable to come up with a clear solution. This not only traps you, but also creates a constant feeling of anxiety, as if you're trying to control the uncontrollable. Have you noticed how, when you try to predict every possible failure, you end up creating a cycle of rumination? Your mind gets stuck in what-if scenarios, and this repetition becomes so automatic that it steals your ability to live in the present, pulling you away from what truly matters. To understand the impact of overthinking, imagine a wheel spinning endlessly without stopping. This cycle might start with a small worry and suddenly turns into something that takes over your mind. When you focus too much on the problem, it seems to grow disproportionately. And the more you try to control everything around you, the more anxiety takes hold. This cycle can be destructive to your well-being, especially when tied to perfectionism. By trying to avoid failures and mistakes, you miss out on the lessons these experiences can offer. But how can you break this cycle? One key is to shift your focus and learn to let go of that need for control. If you've ever found yourself stuck in this loop, a practical solution might be meditation. Not the complicated, inaccessible kind, but the simple act of sitting, breathing, and letting your thoughts pass without holding on to them. Another powerful technique is using binaural beats, which help align brainwaves for a relaxed state. Ever tried it? Small habits like these can transform how you deal with rumination and make space for self-awareness. Overthinking often stems from an intense need for control. People who strive to achieve the most in everything they do often fall into the trap of perfectionism. It's as if there's a constant expectation that everything must go exactly as planned. However, this attempt to predict every detail of the future only amplifies anxiety. The excessive worry about potential failures creates a chain of incessant thoughts that not only exhaust the mind, but also prevent you from living in the present. Perfectionism is one of the biggest enemies of mental well-being. One of the major factors contributing to the cycle of overthinking is the attempt to foresee every possible outcome. No matter how much the mind tries to control each result, the truth is, life is unpredictable. This creates a sense of frustration and insecurity. By trying to cover all possibilities, the mind enters a loop, revisiting each scenario multiple times as if that could prevent failures. This excessive worrying eventually impacts the identity of those who always seek control, causing significant emotional and mental exhaustion. For those who deal with this type of thinking, accepting the unknown is essential. Instead of trying to predict the future, why not focus on the present? An interesting practice is using relaxation techniques like mindful breathing. Taking a few minutes during the day to breathe deeply can help slow down the mind. Another tip is to embrace failures rather than fear them. They don't define who you are, but can be the path to personal growth. Self-awareness also becomes a powerful ally, as understanding your own motivations helps you manage the need for control better. Dealing with overthinking might seem like a challenge, but there are practical solutions that help transform this mental habit. One of the first and most effective strategies is meditation. When you dedicate a few minutes each day to simply observe your thoughts without judging them, the cycle of rumination starts to lose its grip. It's not about emptying your mind, but rather giving space for ideas to flow without the weight of control. In addition, techniques like embracing the unknown are key. We can't always predict what will happen, and accepting that is liberating. Another important point is embracing failure. Instead of seeing it as an obstacle, why not view it as an opportunity for growth? Perfectionism often lies at the root of overthinking, pushing us into a constant pursuit of not making mistakes. However, accepting failure as part of the personal growth process brings lightness. Think of failure as a stepping stone to self-awareness, where each mistake opens doors to knowing yourself better and understanding where there's room for improvement. By reducing self-criticism, you create a mentally healthier environment. Techniques like binaural beats can also be extremely helpful in slowing down the pace of the mind. Brainwaves directly influence how we process thoughts and emotions. By listening to these sounds, you stimulate a state of relaxation that helps reduce anxiety and constant thinking. Try incorporating these solutions into your daily routine and notice the difference. Gradually, your mind adapts to this new way of functioning, allowing you to find more clarity and purpose in your actions. Self-awareness is one of the most powerful tools for dealing with overthinking. When you better understand who you are, your motivations, fears, and behavior patterns, it becomes easier to spot when you're falling into the cycle of rumination. Many times, overthinking is a way of protecting the ego. It's as if we're trying to preserve the identity we've built over the years, keeping control over how others see us and how we see ourselves. However, this quest for control can be exhausting and ultimately fruitless. Detaching from the identities we create is an essential step in breaking this cycle. For example, think about how you define yourself. Do you see yourself as someone who can never fail, who always needs to have the answers? These identities are ego constructions, and the more we cling to them, the more we feed overthinking. When you start letting go of these rigid expectations, the weight on your shoulders lessens. Accepting that you are a person in constant change, rather than a fixed label, can bring tremendous freedom. A good way to practice detachment is by revisiting your own personal narrative. Write in a journal about who you think you are, and reflect on whether these identities are helping or limiting you. Ask yourself, are these identities truly mine, or were they imposed by external expectations? By questioning the ego and working on detachment, you make room for real personal growth. Your mind then becomes a more fertile ground for creativity and relaxation, rather than a battlefield against incessant thoughts. Words have immense power, whether the ones we speak out loud or the ones we think. Often, without even realizing it, we feed the cycle of overthinking through the way we communicate internally. That constant mental dialogue, when filled with negativity or perfectionism, becomes a trap that reinforces anxiety. Every word holds the power to shape our reality, and being mindful of what we say to ourselves can be a game changer. Just as the words we use with others affect our relationships, what we say to ourselves directly impacts our minds. External communication also plays a significant role. Have you ever noticed how certain conversations leave you feeling more anxious, while others bring you peace? The same happens internally. If you spend the day repeating, "I need to control this," or "what if I fail," you inevitably create a tense mental environment. Practicing self-awareness about the words you use, whether in thought or conversation, can help bring more clarity and balance. For example, swapping "I have to" with "I choose to" shifts the tone from obligation to one of conscious and personal control. A practical technique to improve this internal communication is to use positive affirmations daily. Simple phrases like, "I accept what I cannot control," or "I learn from my failures," have the power to reprogram your brain. Combined with self-awareness, this contributes to a lighter, more centered mind. The choice of words you mentally or verbally repeat directly influences your brainwaves, even affecting the pace of your thoughts. Small changes in this area can lead to significant internal transformation. Meditation is one of the most effective tools to break the cycle of overthinking. When you allow yourself to stop and simply be present, without trying to control or judge your thoughts, you create space for the mind to calm down. Techniques like emotional meditation involve consciously connecting with your feelings, observing them without getting caught up in them. This helps reduce rumination, because by acknowledging your thoughts without attaching to them, you allow them to run their natural course. Meditating is like hitting pause on the inner turmoil. Another valuable approach is using binaural beats. These have the ability to tune your brainwaves into frequencies of relaxation and focus. Listening to these beats while meditating or even during simple activities can help slow down the mind. When you combine this practice with daily meditation, even for just a few minutes, you'll notice a significant impact on your control over your thoughts. Have you ever tried putting on headphones, listening to these beats, and just relaxing? It could be the turning point in your journey of self-awareness. If you think meditation is complicated or out of reach, start small. Simple practices like guided meditation are great for beginners. Additionally, deep breathing techniques can also be effective in reducing anxiety. By focusing on your breath, your mind disconnects from the cycle of repetitive thoughts and enters a state of greater calm. In the end, meditation and its associated techniques are a way to reset your brain, allowing you to find more clarity, balance, and resilience in the face of daily challenges. Turning overthinking into clarity and purpose requires a shift in perspective. The first step is accepting that perfection doesn't exist and that failure is part of the process. By adopting this mindset, you relieve the pressure that comes from constant rumination and allow your mind to breathe. Additionally, incorporating meditation techniques and binaural beats into your daily routine can be a practical way to slow down your mental pace. Through these small changes, you can find more serenity and focus without feeling the need to control everything around you. Another key to this transformation is self-awareness. When you understand yourself better, your motivations and weaknesses, it becomes easier to let go of the identities that feed the cycle of overthinking. It's a process of personal growth that involves resilience and a willingness to face failures as opportunities. All of this is supported by the constant practice of lighter, more positive self-talk. After all, how you speak to yourself defines the quality of your thoughts, and in turn, your life. Therefore, for anyone seeking real change, it's important to remember that this journey is ongoing. With patience, practice, and a more compassionate view of your failures, overthinking can be replaced with clarity of purpose. The techniques are here, from meditation to mental reprogramming with words. All are tools within your reach. Why not start applying them today? Over time, you'll see your mind calm down, anxiety ease, and true personal growth begin to flourish. Now that you understand how to turn overthinking into something positive, the next step is to apply this knowledge. After all, what's the point of knowing the path if you don't start walking it? Ask yourself, how many times have you missed living in the present because you were trapped in a web of thoughts? And more importantly, how long will you let this continue? It's time to take conscious control of your mind, using the techniques you've learned here. Meditation, self-awareness, and even the words you choose to use can be powerful tools on this journey of transformation. Are you ready to truly change your life? Then start today. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That way, you won't miss any of the upcoming videos and will keep learning how to shape your reality with more clarity and purpose. See you in the next video.